Have a prepaid call from
Free. The night.
an inmate at the Salinas Valley State Prison, Soledad, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Lazor.
How you doing, Rudy?
I'm doing good. It's been raining all day, so we've had a good deal of rain today.
Wait a minute. I heard you say I'm doing good, and then you came out muffled after that.
No, I just said it's been raining all day, so it's good to get some rain every now and then.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got as I walked in the building here from being away for several hours, I just picked up my mail, and I got that document from Ken Massat. So if you haven't sent it, I have it in hand, which was the one about Joan Beingesser at the top. It's got a heading that says info on witnesses to Lazor's case for Lazor. I think we talked about it I don't know, a few days ago, last time we talked.
Yep, I remember something about Joan Beisinger. The name rings a bell, yeah. And I think it's in the way. I think it's in the mail on the way to you, but you'll just get a second copy. No big deal.
Okay, that's fine. In fact, I could definitely use a second copy, but I didn't want to put you through the burden. If you hadn't already done it, because I just received this. I wanted to, I'm actually trying to get time today to type up a response called a much bigger deal than the Brett Kavanaugh issue. And I've got it roughed out here, but it's so sloppy I can't even read it without really working at reading my own handwriting, so I'm not going to try to read it off this tonight. But what it basically talks about is, and this is not to disparage or belittle whatsoever the importance of the Brett Kavanaugh thing to people on both sides of the aisle, to women who have been sexually abused and raped and such, and to somebody who might be falsely accused, and trying to do such a major thing in his life and have it almost fall apart by this whole barrage, avalanche of accusations. I'm not a judge. I don't know if they're true or false or whatever. But in any case, this is about, and this is for whether you're pro or con Brett Kavanaugh, this is about the fact that Brett Kavanaugh has certain powers now as a Supreme Court justice. He's got 1/9 of the powers of the whole court, or somewhere around there, supposedly anyway. He's got 9 members of the Supreme Court. If you take all members of the Supreme Court together, and take all circuit judges in all, 13 circuits or 12 circuits or however many circuits it is around the United States, and take all the discourse.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Court of California Appellate Court, every California Superior Court, put them all together, all of those judges and justices, that makes many hundreds. Not all of them combined have the power of one lowly prison guard in California, who might be a prison guard that commits all kinds of crimes himself on the street. He might even have a sealed record of a felon record as a juvenile. He might even, on a regular basis, commit crimes and the most sadistic and abusive kind in here. And some of them have committed rapes against female and male prisoners in California prisons, as well as many of the other prisons. They don't all combined have near the power of one of those lowly guards that may have cheated on their GED test in order to get an employment position as a guard at CDC. Each one of these guards, and I mentioned this to some degree before, but I want to make this contrast with the Brett Kavanaugh thing because he's so much in the public eye right now, and the whole thing is about he's being elevated to a position, has been elevated now to a position of power. So he doesn't have, they altogether don't have near the power of one lowly California prison guard who has the power to change my sentence and issue me life without the possibility of parole sentences every day if they want to. I've been issued more than 50 life without possibility parole sentences by lowly prison guards who lied in falsifying rule violation reports of petty things like being on the yard when I supposedly wasn't supposed to be and wasn't even on the yard, false accusation, being on the phone out of turn, supposedly, and things like that. Each one of those gave me a life without possibility of parole sentence on top of the sentence that was judicially issued by the judge in my murder case which was fully served, done with, and supposed to be released home on May 1, 1992. So I just wanted to point out that contrast and let people know. I'm going to, of course, when I type up this document, I'll make sure a copy of it gets sent to you. Okay. I'll make sure a copy of it gets sent to you. We can put it out there on your, website and YouTube or wherever all this stuff goes. So I wish I'd have thought of this earlier and had it when all the hoopla was going on at its peak to make this contrast, and maybe somebody will pick up on it and, finally get shocked awake to how staggering and how stunning this is, that these lowly prison guards who have never served in any other official position, government position, no judge, no senator, not even the garbage collector for the mayor, but just a lowly prison guard was the best they've ever done, has the power to do this to me over and above the sentence that I was sentenced to by the rule violation report, scandal and scam that the guards run and the parole board operates in conjunction with them to keep converting this or adding another life sentence every time I go before the parole board with a new false rule violation report. It should be the most astounding, shocking thing, because it's a kidnap industry system. It is literally institutionalized kidnapping, and I cannot figure why I haven't got the public to recognize that and just cry out about this. So,
yeah.
End of that.
Okay, I think that's a very, very powerful, flaw in the system that you've just elucidated on, and I do pray that somebody picks up on it. And it's just staggering. It is absolutely staggering. It's human trafficking, is what it is.
It is exactly. It is exactly human trafficking. By the way, is Brett Kavanaugh's first name spelled with two T's, B-R-E-T-T?
Keep talking, and I'll look that up on the internet while you're talking.
Okay, because I've seen it spelled both ways. In fact, one of the chief witnesses against me in trial that lied like crazy to send me to prison, who was a good friend of Allred, and I reached out to him and let him stay in my house for a few months. His name was Brett. His first name was Brett.
It is two T.
I think it was spelled with one T, but I think it's usually spelled with two.
No, it is two T's.
Sure
yep.
I'll have that right in my typed document then. I also want to bring into play here the senators of California and the two senators from California to the U.S. and the U.S. elected senators and congressmen and the California Assembly, which is the other house in the California legislature, that somebody among them are supposed to deal with public safety issues. They have public safety committee. They have about 3 or 4 different committees that deal with prison issues. Public safety committee is one. When the Green Wall got exposed,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There was a literal official street gang of prison guards, solely of prison guards. When that was all exposed, and the Senate of California brought it before the Senate for hearings, open public hearings on it, and that was probably about 8 years ago. This should be a bigger scam and scandal than that, because it was Green Wall that was so much involved in falsifying so many of these false rule violation reports. And of course, I'm not the only one going through this, but I'm definitely the worst case that anybody that I have ever run into has been able to see in California history of these false rule violation reports. So the fact that when a person is kept in prison years and decades beyond his sentence, the chance of him being killed in prison, dying in prison of a disease he may not have had on the street because of the bad nutrition we get in here, and all these different kind of things, subject to all kind of criminal preying, to robberies of his property, and just countless unimaginable things that they're all subject to by the fact that they're in here, and the rule violation reports keep us in here longer than we're supposed to be kept. So all of these crimes are domino effect crimes that come from the one crime of falsifying rule violation reports against us. And so I'm turning this subject right now to the Senate and the Assembly of California, to the senators and congressmen on the federal level, that somebody in all those should be doing something about this. I've tried to bring it to their attention for years. They don't listen to prisoners very much, but if I could get people up there to start a writing campaign to specific targeted senators, assemblymen, and U.S. senators and congressmen, I think we might get somewhere. As I've said before, it requires persistence. A person that thinks, well, I wrote the letter once and nothing happened, I got a response and they didn't say much, or I didn't get a response at all, that's not going to fly. I already know that ahead of time before we step into this. As we step into this, I want everybody to know this takes persistence, but it doesn't take a lot of work. Once the letter is written, all somebody has to do is change the date on that letter. If they want to add or subtract a little phrasing difference, they can do that too, but it's not necessary. If they change the date on the letter, send it again in 3 weeks. Send it again 3 weeks later. Send it again 2 weeks later. Send it again 2 weeks later again. Again and again and again. If we get 50 people out there or 100 people or even 20 people doing that, I really think somebody's going to at some point pay attention, because a lot of these legislators do at least respond. And once they respond or their aide responds, they usually forget about it. But if they respond 30 times or 200 times or 700 times to a barrage of letters like this that just keep coming, and they realize that this person or the supporters of this person are going to persist, then I think we will get their attention. And it's a huge issue. Human trafficking and slavery right under our noses. I can just picture Jackie Spear is one of the foremost California. I think she's now a California, a U.S. senator from California. I'm not sure, but she's something like that. She's very high up in the Senate, and I know that she was involved in the Jim Jones thing. She goes way back when Jim Jones in the 1970s did that Kool-Aid poisoning thing in Guyana, wherever it was. I think it was Guyana.
Yep.
And she was down there. She got shot. So she's a real go-getter in terms of doing things. Unfortunately, she's on the far left-wing side of the fence, and probably is not, very favorable about gun use. She's probably anti-Second Amendment. I don't know that for a fact, though. So that's number one. But two, even if she is, she seemed to have a sense of justice that even if I think she's misguided in the things she's against or for, if we could still get her interest in this issue, because there are a lot of these left-wing people are pro-prisoners' rights and pro-helping prisoners. So if we could show that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of prisoners who have been affected by these false rule violation reports and have literally had their sentences extended to where it is kidnapping, in most cases only for an extra 6 months or an extra year and a half. In my case, an extra 26 years so far, moving into my 27th year soon, then maybe, she might take action on it. So if we can get one senator, one assembly person, or one congressman to wake up and take interest in this and just keep flooding them with contact from supporters of this issue until they do something, I think we might get somewhere. And I want the springboard to dive into this to be this letter that I should have done tonight, typed up about the comparison between the Brett Kavanaugh issue and this issue that every prison guard, one prison guard, every one of them in California has more power than all of the judges put together in the whole country. Wow.
Yeah, that's a very powerful thought, and I hope it registers with some, you never know what God will use, these words to hit the right ears, and it might just, fall on the right ears and something can be done about it. But I think that's a very powerful flaw in the system that needs to be corrected.
Well, I certainly hope so. Did you say a very powerful what? Blog, did you say?
Flaw. A very powerful flaw in the system. Like, it's a flaw.
Flaw.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm trying to get a better handle than I...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
On an internet blog, I'm still quite ignorant about most, things having to do with the internet, or even computers, even before the internet, because none of that stuff was out there when I was out there, and they ban us from direct contact with that stuff in here. So I have to rely on people like you to do all these things for me.
No problem. No problem. My prayers are with you. And you know what you said earlier kind of resonated. Is how do we get people to care?
30 seconds remaining.
You know, we kind of live in Sodom and Gomorrah, and I try to get people to care about the injustices. But God will move.
Well, I encourage you because I know everybody can be worn down, no matter how persistent they are. But I encourage you. I pray that you'll continue on, and I thank you so much, you and Aaron, for this mission you do, and it's a wonderful and very much needed one. So, blessings to you in my hand.
All right, that was Free Lazor. It cut him off mid-sentence. Free Lazor's been in prison 36 years. That's more than anybody other prisoner, with the exception of Yori Von Kahl and Scott Fall. Those three men have been in prison for over 35 years. All three of those men, I believe, are innocent. I don't know what you say after that. What do you say after that? You've been in prison 35 years and as an innocent man. How is the state going to ever make up for that?